Did you know that dogs possess an incredibly special kind of memory? They don't just remember places, scents, or the commands you once taught them. They also remember the moments that hurt them. The times you accidentally raised your voice, a gesture you thought was harmless, or the moment you turned away when they needed you most. All of these can leave a deeper mark in their minds than you might think. And the sad part is, there are actions that, once they happen, they will never forget. Some of them, they might never even forgive. Today, we're going to share with you 15 serious mistakes that you should absolutely avoid when caring for your dog. Not to make you feel guilty, but to help you prevent hurting your loyal four-legged friend, the one who loves you with all their heart, whether you're right or wrong. And one of the first things that can cause deep emotional wounds often begins with the very words you think are full of affection. Think about a simple moment when you gently say, "Come here," and your dog obediently runs toward you, tail wagging, eyes sparkling with excitement. To them, that call is a promise, a gentle pet, a warm hug, or simply the presence of the person they love the most. But then, one day, that same call leads to a bath they absolutely hate, or a nerve-wracking trip to the vet. And you might not notice, but they do. Once, then twice. Gradually, the command, "Come here," once a golden ticket to joy, becomes a signal of something unpleasant, unclear, and unsafe. And then you begin to notice. They don't come running anymore. They hesitate. They tilt their head and look at you, as if asking, "Is it going to be something bad this time too?" Just a very small change, but it's a sign of a crack in their trust. What makes them turn away isn't anger. It's the soft feeling of betrayal, when the affectionate call is no longer something to look forward to. And when that happens, the bond between you and them begins to shift. Quietly, but surely. Have you ever seen that hesitant look in their eyes? Have you ever called their name and instead of rushing to you like always, they just stood still, looking at you, sad and confused? If so, then perhaps you've lost a piece of the trust that was once absolute. It doesn't stop there. What could be worse than seeing your dog do something wrong, and then, losing your temper, you punish them? Or worse, rub their nose in the mistake as a way of teaching. You might think you're educating them, but from the dog's perspective, it's a moment filled with shame and fear. They don't understand why you're angry. All they learn is that you, the person they love, just made them feel confused and threatened. Next time, if an accident happens, chances are they'll choose to quietly hide it instead of turning to you for help. Have you ever seen that scared look in their eyes when you accidentally raised your voice? If you have, maybe it's time to consider a different approach, one that's softer, more patient, and more compassionate with your dog's emotions. And you know what? Punishment, yelling, scolding, not only hurt them emotionally, but also destroy a dog's motivation to learn. If someone shouted in your face just because you forgot to take out the trash, would you feel motivated to do better? Dogs are no different. When they're overwhelmed by guilt or fear, their brain doesn't learn what's right. It only learns how to avoid what's wrong. But if you replace that with a reward, a gentle look, or simply a kind word, they'll begin to understand. Oh, doing this makes my person happy. And then they'll repeat the good behavior, not out of fear, but out of love. Have you ever tried praising instead of scolding? Try it for 1 week and feel the difference in your dog's eyes. But even when you don't scold or punish, sometimes simple neglect can still cause emotional wounds. There are days when you're too busy, coming home exhausted, not even greeting or petting the dog who's been waiting all day just to see you. To them, you are their whole world. But if day after day that whole world walks by without even a glance, how could that little heart not feel ignored? They may not say anything, but they feel it, and they hold it deep inside. If you've had a busy week like that, today, just spend 10 minutes playing with them, talking to them, or simply sitting by their side. Love doesn't need to be grand. It just needs to show up at the right time. And then, when these little behaviors repeat, you yell, you forget to play, you don't smile at them like you used to, you might start thinking your dog is grumpy, hard to manage, or more destructive than before. But sometimes, it's you who hasn't realized that their one safe space, the crate, the familiar rug, has quietly become a place of punishment. Every time they misbehave, you lock them in the crate. Every time you're upset, you push them in there like saying, "Go to your corner." And then one day, the place that should have been for rest turns into a symbol of isolation. You may not mean to, but the damage is still there. So why not turn the crate into a space of comfort? Place their favorite toy inside, a few tasty treats, a soft pillow, and use it like a cozy bedroom, not a place of discipline. Have you ever tried creating a private room just for your dog? These seemingly small actions, when replaced with understanding and love, can work wonders. And if you've found yourself in any of these situations, don't feel bad. All of us, at some point, have failed to fully understand our loyal companion. But the amazing thing is, with dogs, as long as your change is sincere, they will learn to trust you again. Just like the very first time. Have you ever made any of these mistakes? Share your thoughts in the comments so that other dog lovers can learn and grow together. And if you feel these things truly matter, don't forget to subscribe, so you won't miss out on heartfelt and meaningful videos made just for you and your four-legged friend. Because love for dogs isn't just in the heart, it's in the actions we take every day. We often say that dogs live by instinct, but in truth, what they love most is consistency, in actions, in routines, and in affection. They love knowing what to expect, meals at the same time, sleep in the same spot, and a few simple rules that help them feel safe in the human world. But many dog owners fall into an invisible trap. Today, the dog is allowed on the sofa, but tomorrow, they're scolded for it. Today, they're allowed to jump up on someone, but the next day, they get pushed away. And for a dog who's trying to learn how to live in harmony with you, that inconsistency feels like a game with no rules. Can you imagine being taught that you can eat cookies in bed, but then being yelled at the next day for doing the same thing? That's exactly how a dog feels when there are no clear boundaries. Setting rules isn't about control, it's about helping them understand their place and role in the family. And that's what makes them feel truly loved. So, have you ever gathered everyone in the house to agree on a few gentle rules for your dog? Once they have a safe framework to live within, the next thing dogs need is empathy, especially in moments of fear. It might seem strange to see a large dog tremble at the sound of a vacuum cleaner, or a tiny dog hiding under the table whenever there's thunder. But to them, those sounds can feel like invisible monsters invading their world. And the way you respond in those moments, whether it's a comforting hug or an annoyed sigh, leaves a deeper mark on their memory than you might expect. A simple act like sitting down beside them, gently stroking their back, or just speaking in a soft voice, "It's okay, I'm right here," can turn a panicked heart into a peaceful one. That's when your dog no longer sees you as just the one who feeds them, but as their safe place whenever the world makes them tremble. Have you ever had a moment like that? If you have, share it, so that new dog owners can also understand. Being strong doesn't mean being unfeeling. Just like humans, dogs also need their own space, but not to be isolated as a form of punishment. Many people lock their dogs in a crate whenever they do something wrong, as a way to teach them a lesson. But remember, a crate is not a prison. It should be a warm bedroom, a place for rest, relaxation, and a sense of safety. If every time they enter it, it's tied to feelings of being scolded or pushed away from your arms, how can they ever feel secure in there? So try something simple. Add a soft pillow, a few favorite toys, and tuck a little snack in the corner. And turn that space into a peaceful little haven. You might be surprised to see your dog happily step into the crate, not because they're forced to, but because it's their own space, a place where they feel respected. Have you ever tried letting your dog choose the crate like that? And if you still think playing is just for children, then you might be overlooking one of your dog's most essential needs: physical activity and mental stimulation. A long day without interactive engagement, for a dog, is just as exhausting and boring as it would be for a person sitting still for 8 hours without a break. And you know what happens when a mind is full of pent-up energy with no outlet? That's right, chewing up slippers, tearing apart the sofa, digging holes in the yard. Not because they're bad, but because they're trying to release all the built-up energy. But you don't need to take them to the park every day, or build a full playground. Just a short game of tug-of-war, a quick round of fetch down the hallway, or even a toy box with hidden treats can be enough to light up those excited eyes. Try just 10 minutes each morning, and you'll see a different dog. Happier, calmer, and more connected. And most importantly, you're building a bond based on shared joy, not just routine responsibility. Something many dog owners unintentionally overlook is the need for socialization. Dogs are pack animals. If you don't give them chances to meet other dogs, explore new environments, or interact with people outside the family, they can become withdrawn, fearful, or react negatively when faced with unfamiliar situations. A few trips to the park, joining a training class, or simply walking down new streets, all of it can help expand their inner world. Have you ever noticed how your dog comes home looking more content after a play session with the neighbor's pup? That's because they've just had a healthy social experience, something no toy in the world can replace. So ask yourself, are you giving your dog that opportunity? Even though we always try our best to love and care for our dogs, some of our actions, though completely unintentional, can quietly create cracks in the bond we share with them. And one of the things that can hurt a dog's feelings the most is when they are compared. You may have said something like, "Why can't you behave like that other dog?" Or, "Other people's dogs sit still for photos, and you just keep moving around." It may sound harmless to us, but did you know, even though dogs don't understand every word, they can feel your tone, your gaze, and the disappointment hidden in your voice. To them, you are their whole world. And when that world looks at them as if they're not good enough, it hurts. Just like a child being compared to someone else's perfect kid. Instead of wishing your dog were more like someone else's, try loving them for who they are, whether they're shy, hyper, or a little clumsy. Because just like people, every dog is unique. And when they're accepted just as they are, they shine in their own special way. So what about you? What's the one quirky thing about your dog that you love the most? Share it with others, because sometimes that silly trait might just be the most lovable thing in the world. And if you want to understand your dog more deeply, Start by learning their body language. They can't speak like humans, but they communicate through every glance, every lip lick, every head turn, or the way their tail quietly drops. Yet many people overlook these signs and unintentionally ignore their dog when it's trying to say, "I'm anxious," "I need space," or "I'm not ready to interact." Learning to read these signals doesn't just help you avoid difficult situations. It builds a deeper bond based on real respect and listening. Have you ever noticed your dog turn its head away when you hug too tightly? That might be their gentle way of saying, "I love you, but I'm feeling a little overwhelmed." And it's in those quiet moments of listening that you truly become a friend, not just an owner. But sometimes, because we don't understand those signals, we tease our dogs when they're already stressed, pretending to startle them, tapping on their crate when they're hiding, or laughing when they growl out of fear. To us, it's just a joke. But to a dog, it's a deep sense of being unsafe, feeling exposed, unprotected, and laughed at by the very person they trust can leave long-lasting scars. They don't understand jokes the way we do. What they do understand is kindness, a gentle voice, a soft gaze, and the feeling that says, "I'm safe when I'm with you." If you've ever teased your dog in the name of fun, try watching their reaction next time. You might see eyes that aren't laughing with you. And if that happens, don't blame yourself. Just begin again with more gentleness starting today. Perhaps the most heartbreaking thing is when dogs are scolded for reacting on instinct. They jump on guests because they're too excited, bark when they see something unfamiliar, or scratch at the door because they miss you. And then they get yelled at, pushed away, or punished for not behaving. But what if they could speak? What would they say? "I just wanted some attention. I was scared and didn't know what else to do." Or simply, "I missed you, so I ran out." Excitement, anxiety, curiosity. These are all completely normal reactions from a dog trying to live in a human world. Instead of punishing them, guide them with patience. When they jump, teach them to sit. When they bark, use calming cues. When they scratch at the door, remember. Maybe you are the one thing that made their day meaningful. And when you begin with empathy, you'll see those behaviors fade. Not because they're forbidden, but because they're understood. And finally, something many people still do with good intentions, but that can easily break a dog's trust, is forcing them to interact with strangers or other animals before they're ready. You might think that the more they meet, the more they'll get used to it. But for dogs, trust doesn't come from being pushed into uncomfortable situations. It comes from being given the choice. If you're constantly pulling the leash, dragging them toward strangers, or picking them up to get close to another dog so they can make friends, what are they feeling? They feel betrayed by the very person they believed would protect them. Instead, let them approach when they feel safe. Slowly, with you by their side, without pressure. Just like a child needs time to adjust to a new classroom, dogs need gentle, respectful support. You can sit down, let them observe from a distance, and decide for themselves whether to come closer or not. And if you give them that choice, you might be surprised by how your dog grows, becoming more confident and ready to face the world at their own pace. After everything we've shared, perhaps the biggest message isn't "don't make mistakes," but rather, love with understanding. Dogs don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be sincere and always willing to learn how to love them better day by day. Have you ever unintentionally done any of these things? If so, share your story in the comments, not to be judged, but so we can all learn and grow together in this journey of raising these incredible four-legged friends. And if you want to keep walking alongside us in these heartfelt journeys, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. Because here, we're not just learning how to raise dogs. We're learning how to become the trusted companion they've always believed in. You know that sometimes it's the small, everyday actions that unintentionally cause your beloved dog silent pain. You feed them, play with them, cuddle them, and believe you're doing the best for them. But the truth is, some seemingly harmless behaviors quietly hurt their hearts and damage their bodies without you even realizing it. Have you ever noticed your dog looking at you with silent, pleading eyes, unable to say, "Please, understand me better"? In this video, I'll take you through 12 things you should never do to your dog, so that every day together is filled with love and safety. Some things may seem minor, but they are actually the keys to protecting the health and happiness of your loyal four-legged friend. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed your dog curling up in a corner, looking worried even when you haven't done anything? This could be an early sign that you're unknowingly violating their basic freedoms. Like humans, dogs need the freedom to express their emotions, to live without hunger, pain, fear, or unjust restrictions. If you limit their freedom too much, like chaining them all day, not letting them choose to explore, socialize, or even express sadness, you're stealing a piece of their life. A dog living in constant anxiety and strict control may eventually become depressed or develop negative behaviors. Imagine yourself locked in a small room day after day. How would you feel? Let your dog be themselves, free within a framework of love. Have you ever gotten angry when your dog chewed your favorite shoes or jumped on you, messing up your clean clothes? That's not naughty misbehavior. It's the natural instinct of a dog craving connection with you. In moments of anger, we forget that dogs don't understand right and wrong like we do. They act on emotions and natural needs. When you scold or punish them for these instinctive actions, the only thing they feel is a crack forming in your bond. A dog that doesn't understand why they're being yelled at will become anxious, withdrawn, or even develop rebellious behavior. Instead of getting mad, patiently guide them toward what you want. Have you ever seen someone dressing their dog in sweaters, putting sunglasses on them, or spraying them with perfume? These acts, though well-intentioned, humanize dogs, forcing them into little humans and ignoring their real needs. A dog made to live, dress, and behave like a human feels confused and anxious because their natural instincts are stripped away. They don't need clothes, chairs, or afternoon tea parties to be happy. They just need to run, sniff, and be their true dog selves. True love means accepting them exactly as they are. When was the last time you let your dog roll freely in the grass, dirt, and all? Tell me about it. And you might be surprised to know, spoiling your dog can be just as dangerous as being too strict. Do you think letting your dog do whatever they want without guidance is an act of unconditional love? Actually, a dog without structure feels lost and anxious, just like a child without boundaries. An untrained dog can easily get into danger, running into traffic, eating something toxic, or causing bigger problems. Training isn't about control, it's about protection and expanding safe freedom. Teaching commands like sit, stay, and come is not just a drill. It's a language of love that helps you and your dog understand each other. Have you ever personally taught your dog a simple command? If yes, be proud and share your story. But one thing matters even more: how you react when they make mistakes. Do you think lightly hitting your dog when they misbehave will help them remember? In reality, every time you slap or scream at your dog, you carve an invisible crack into their little heart. Dogs don't learn from fear. They learn to avoid you. A physically punished dog will lose trust, live defensively, and may become aggressive or hopeless. Instead of punishing, use positive reinforcement. Praise, gently correct, and make them feel safe while learning. Have you ever praised your dog the moment they did something right and seen their eyes light up with happiness? Try it today. And if you think only physical punishment causes pain, you'll be heartbroken to learn the next truth. Have you ever been so busy that you only fed your dog, but otherwise left them alone all day? That's a form of neglect, too. A dog might be well fed and rested, but without your presence and attention, they feel lonely and abandoned. Dogs have very sensitive souls. A cold glance, a day without a gentle touch, a night without a greeting, can all leave deep sadness. You don't need to say much, just 5 minutes a day sitting by their side, gently stroking their back, can light up their little world. Are you spending enough quality time with your dog? Think about it and share with me. Sometimes love is as simple as that. Have you ever accidentally scared your dog with a harmless prank? Blowing in their face, pulling their tail, or startling them for fun actually causes more damage than you think. To dogs, these aren't funny. They feel threatened and unsafe. One quick prank can leave lasting fear, causing your dog to lose trust in you. If you want to play, choose safe and respectful games. Gentle tug-of-war, fetch, or simply lying next to them peacefully. Have you ever seen your dog lower their head or shy away when you tease them too much? If so, that's a sign they need you to be gentler. And beyond gentleness, health care is essential too. Do you only take your dog to the vet when they're seriously sick? Unfortunately, that's a dangerous mistake. Just like humans, many dog illnesses show no signs until it's too late. A wellness checkup every 6 months, including dental, eyes, ears, heart, and lungs, helps detect problems early. Vaccinations and regular deworming protect both your dog and your family from health risks. Your dog deserves proactive care, not just promises to treat them when they're sick. Have you ever taken your dog for a regular checkup? If not, maybe today's the day to start. And it's not just about physical health. Your daily actions deeply affect their emotional well-being, too. Have you ever scolded your dog hours or even days after a small mistake? In humans, memory of wrongdoing can linger, but in dogs, the concept of guilt is fleeting. When you yell at them long after the incident, they don't understand what you're upset about. They only feel confused, anxious, and see your anger as unpredictable, damaging your bond. If you catch your dog doing something wrong, correct it immediately, briefly, clearly, and calmly. If it's already in the past, let it go. Real love is not about digging up old mistakes, but about growing together. Do you remember the last time you scolded your dog? Think about it. Did they really understand your anger? And there's another easily overlooked matter. Your dog's daily meals. Simple, yet filled with hidden risks. Did you think giving your dog a piece of cake or a bit of fruit just for fun wouldn't hurt? In reality, many foods safe for humans are extremely dangerous for dogs. Chocolate, onions, grapes, xylitol-containing peanut butter can all cause severe poisoning or even death. Dogs' bodies can't process many of the things we eat daily. Remember, love is not about sharing everything you eat. It's about protecting them from hidden dangers in every bite. If you want to give treats, choose safe dog-specific snacks or permitted fruits like apples, watermelon, or carrots. Have you ever accidentally fed your dog something dangerous and panicked afterward? Share your story. Let's all stay more careful together. And beyond food, how you organize daily life greatly impacts their soul too. Have you ever been so busy that day, after day, your dog was left alone in the yard or house without going outside? For dogs, walks are not just for bathroom breaks. They are how they connect with the world, socialize, and explore new smells, sights, and sounds. A dog lacking exercise and socialization can become sad, irritable, or fearful. Spend at least 20 to 30 minutes daily walking your dog, letting them meet new friends, explore the neighborhood, or simply breathe the fresh outdoor air. When was the last time you wandered with your dog, with no agenda, just to enjoy every step? Share it with me, because for dogs, that small joy is their whole world. And even when you try your best, there will be times they struggle, and that's when you must not give up. Dogs, like humans, can make mistakes or change behavior due to age, illness, or emotional trauma. If your normally well-behaved dog suddenly becomes irritable, destructive, or fearful, it doesn't mean they're bad. They might be in pain, anxious, or suffering from behavioral issues. Instead of getting angry or giving up, find out why. Get a full health checkup, consult a behavior specialist, or ask a trainer for help. You might be the only one they trust during their hardest times. Don't give up, because those eyes, that heart, still only long for one thing: to be loved, understood, and by your side. If you've gone through a tough time with your dog, share your story. Each one is a reminder that true love lasts beyond sunny days. Now you know, sometimes just a look, a gentle touch, or a minute of quiet can save the tiny soul that silently trusts and loves you with everything they have. We don't have to be perfect owners, just patient friends, good listeners, and kind companions. Because for a dog, happiness is simple: seeing your smile, smelling your familiar scent, and falling asleep beside the heart they chose as home. We don't choose dogs. Dogs choose us, to love us for a lifetime. If you feel this video helped you understand your dog a little more, please subscribe to the channel so we can keep learning, loving, and growing together with our furry friends. And don't forget to share. What special moments with your dog do you cherish the most? See you in the next journey, where love always leads the way. Love dogs, right? You feed yours on time, take them for a walk every afternoon, and never hesitate to wrap them in tight, loving hugs. But what if I told you that some of the things you're doing every day, things you believe are good, might actually make your dog uncomfortable, hurt, or even scared? Would you believe it? We often think that love means giving what we believe is right. But for dogs, true love lies in understanding what to avoid, not just what we want to do. And sometimes, our well-meaning care turns into an invisible pressure they simply can't express. I once met a little dog named Bruno. His eyes were sad. His ears drooped every time his owner came near. He wasn't being abused or starved, but every time his human came home, the first thing they did was squeeze him tight and smother him with kisses. To us, that's affection. To Bruno, it was a violation, and he had no way to say no, so he just learned to avoid it. Slowly, he began to fear even the moment of his owner's return. That story stayed with me. And in this video, I'll walk you through 10 things dogs absolutely hate from humans. Things that are incredibly common and familiar, but can silently cause emotional stress to the very dog you believe you're loving the right way. Especially number 10. It may be simple, but it's something that can truly break a dog's heart. And if you're a mindful dog parent, I believe it's something you won't want to miss. And if what I'm about to share feels important to the dog-loving community, don't hesitate to hit subscribe so we can work together to create a kinder, more compassionate world for these beings who love us unconditionally. Now, let's begin with the very first thing, something you might hear every single day, without realizing just how much it affects your dog. There's something we humans often tune out, but dogs can't escape. Loud noises and strong smells. A hairdryer, fireworks, rumbling trucks. They may just be background noise to you, but to a dog, they're explosive, jarring, and overwhelming. Their nervous system is far more sensitive than ours. Sudden sounds can cause panic, fast heartbeats, and if frequent enough, chronic anxiety or even depression. The same goes for strong scents like perfumes, air fresheners, or heavily fragranced shampoos. What smells clean to us can feel suffocating to a dog, disrupting their sense of safety in the very place they live. And if noise causes fear, then our words, what we often think of as bonding, can sometimes become a source of confusion. Many people talk non-stop to their dogs, venting or rambling out of habit. But without gestures, eye contact, or clarity, your dog doesn't know if you're chatting or commanding. Dogs rely on actions. Your tone matters far more than your words. And when you go on and on without space for them to sense what you mean, even your best intentions can be misread as pressure or stress. Worse still is when that voice turns into scolding, especially when you're upset about something unrelated. Dogs don't understand delayed punishment. If you yell 10 minutes after they've done something wrong, all they feel is, "My human is angry, and I don't know why." Over time, this doesn't just make them afraid of you, it makes them doubt themselves. They stop running toward you when you call. Not out of defiance, but because they don't know if your love comes with anger. All of this becomes even more damaging when there's no stability. Dogs are creatures of habit. They don't need you to be perfect. They just need you to be predictable. If one day sit earns a treat, the next day a scolding, and the next day is ignored, you break their sense of emotional safety. If you walk them at 6 a.m. today and forget tomorrow, they feel lost. And for a dog, that's like being dropped in a strange city with no map and no one to ask for help. They can't speak, but you'll see it in their anxious pacing, their searching eyes. And then there's something many of us do thinking it's sweet, but is actually incredibly invasive: hugging too much. Yes, dogs are not natural huggers. Some may tolerate it, but many feel trapped or even scared. A hug to a dog can feel like being restrained. Watch closely. After a forced hug, do they lick their lips, turn their head, breathe heavily, or try to wiggle away? Those are all signs saying, "Please stop." Love doesn't always mean physical touch. Sometimes respecting space is the clearest form of care. Now, the next one might be something you do every day, thinking it's harmless, but to your dog, it can feel like being invisible. And that's how you walk them. Notice this? Some mornings you grab the leash, rush out the door, and basically drag your dog along like you're in a race. The leash is tight, your steps are fast, and there's no moment to pause at a favorite tree or just feel the breeze. For you, it's walking the dog. But for them, it was supposed to be a moment of rare freedom. A walk without smells, conversation, or connection. To a dog, that's sometimes worse than no walk at all. Then, before they've even enjoyed it, You're home, and it's bath time. You think you're being responsible, clean, hygienic. But did you know that bathing too often, especially with strong shampoos, can rob your dog of something vital? Their natural scent isn't dirty. It's part of how they communicate. Overbathing and perfuming disrupts this, disconnecting them from their identity. Worse, many cleaning products irritate their skin and coat. A bath becomes an uncomfortable ritual they quietly endure. Just like you wouldn't want 4 baths a day, sometimes all a dog needs is a dry towel and a gentle back rub. But instead of listening, many people try to control every grooming moment, clipping nails, brushing fur, cleaning wounds without warning or consent. You grab their paw, flip them over, yank an ear, and forget how startling that is. Dogs don't fear care. They fear not knowing what's about to happen. A gentle word, calming eye contact, even letting them sniff the tool first, gives back a little control. And that's what anyone needs to feel safe. There's another often overlooked issue: sudden changes in the living space. Rearranging the couch, getting a new rug, even deep cleaning the living room can all make a dog feel like they've been moved to a strange land. They don't understand why home doesn't feel familiar. Their calm depends on predictability. You don't need to freeze your home in time, but let them adjust. Put the new item near their bed. Let them sniff. Invite them to be part of the change. That way, they'll still feel like they belong. But perhaps the most heartbreaking thing a dog can endure isn't loud sounds or harsh shampoos or even unwanted hugs. It's something quieter: your absence. You're busy. You work. You have a life. But to your dog, you are their life. When you stop playing, stop touching, stop calling their name, they don't understand you still love them. They just feel, the one I love isn't here anymore. That eager look when you come home, the way they leap with joy even if you've only been gone 10 minutes, it's not just habit. It's hunger for connection. And if that absence becomes a pattern, the trust fades. Not because you left, but because you didn't return in the way they hoped. We can be busy, tired, distracted. But please, don't be absent. To our 4-legged friends, love isn't in the big gestures. It's in the glance you give, the hand you offer when they're trembling, and the moments you truly share, not out of duty, but out of love. If you see a bit of yourself in what I've shared, don't blame yourself, because you're listening. And that's all a dog truly needs, a human who's willing to learn how to love better. Hit subscribe if you believe loving a dog is something worth learning the right way. And if you want to keep growing with me, become the kind of friend every dog dreams of having.